Hey, welcome back to JG3 Reviews. My name is James, and around here, we like to explore the world of fountain pens, ink, and paper, and other things as well sometimes. But today, it is a fountain pen. It is the Jinhao 82, and I know what you're thinking. 82, is that a new model? Yes. Hey, doesn't that look like another pen? Yes. Hey, isn't that a really cool-looking black fountain pen at a really reasonable price that writes really well? Maybe. Let's flip the camera and find out. All right, so we have here the Jinhao 82, which I will say looks an awful lot like a black Sailor Pro Gear Slim from the outside. And I certainly would understand those comparisons. Because of that, it's also going to look an awful lot like, say, a Pilot Custom Heritage 912 that's shrunken down, because a lot of these traditional black fountain pens are very, very similar in style. I like that it has this newer clip that you also see on the Jinhao X159, and of course it's different in size, but it's just a similar style, and I like that. It's a clean look, a simple look, and it pairs well with the overall conservative look of this fountain pen. So you have the glossy finish and just a plain finial at the top and cap at the end of the barrel. The trim is typical Jinhao, etched in that trim band, which is just a single trim band. And it does not have a model number on the back. Kind of wish it did, because I'm starting to lose track of all those numbers. Let's go ahead and do our cap count. That's 1, 2, right at 2, maybe just under. The pen does, of course, post well, post securely, and is a really nice size. And I like, because of the length of this pen, that the edge of the cap, which is a nice smooth step down, is below where it hits my hand. Of course, that will depend on the writer, but makes for a really well-balanced pen. Of course, that makes it back heavy, but because of where it sits and because it's shorter in length, it just nests in the hand there very well balanced. All right, then we come to the nib, which in this case is number 5. Now, I think it would look even better with a 6, but I do think that the 5 suits the overall size of this pen. I have had good experience with them, and this one is no different, as you'll see in the writing test, and I just think it's one of the things that they do well. Typical plastic feed, and I have this pen inked, so I'm not going to do it, but you should be able to pull that nib and feed pretty easily to clean the pen. The grip section is a nice diameter, very, very comfortable, no issue there. Good looking trim ring and plastic on plastic threads, and those look pretty good to me. And gazing down the cap, you can see that there is a plastic liner. You can kind of see how all of that comes together. As we open up the pen, you will notice there is an O-ring, which I really appreciate that. That helps protect this from being pressured too much and cracking as you tighten the pen, and I'm going to assume that's what that's about. Since you have this trim ring here, it wouldn't be about eyedroppering the pen. Of course it does. It's a Jinhao, come with a converter, and it is a cartridge converter pen. If I open this up carefully, I wasn't sure how full it still was, you'll see that it is that 2.6 millimeter Chinese international standard that will also take international standard cartridges. So that's good. And here you can see how the threads are machined. Overall, I like the design, and I think it looks good. And a quick size comparison, the Jinhao 82 in the middle, next to a Hero 565, a Cross Bailey Light, the Delight New Moon, and the Lamy Safari. And here we have the pens in their posted length, and the pens unposted. So this is the Jinhao 82. This is a fine number 5. Steel nib. And the ink is Monteverde Azure Noir. This is a new ink to me. I'll have to do an ink test soon. Check for wetness. And that's quite decent. Just kind of a standard fine line, as you can see. And nice and smooth, just a hint of feedback. And again, as I said earlier, just a really nice, balanced pen in hand. And I could write with this unposted. It's long enough that I can do that. It doesn't have any extra length. Now, how about a really good, not great dad joke? All right, so what do I think about the pen? I like it. I like the design, and I know that it's, very similar to several other pens, and maybe one or two in particular, but it's a classic black pen with silver trim, and I like that. The nib is good. If you're familiar with their number 5 nibs, it's their number 5 nib. I mean, I get pretty consistent performance from those across the board. I've said that before, and so I kind of know what to expect from this pen, and it lived up to my expectations in that regard. The pen is well made. I think, the clip is nice and strong and workable. The look is really good. For the price of this pen, I think it really is a good deal. Who is it for? Anybody who wants just a nice classic black pen that doesn't break the bank, and they're not looking for something that has a gold nib or something like that. You just a steel nib, everyday writer pen with a classic look. This is a pen you might want to put on your list to check out. Or if you're kind of a Jinhao collector, it's kind of an easy thing to be these days, isn't it? And maybe you want to add this one to your collection there. It's a good pen. That's what I'm going to say. It's a good pen, and I've enjoyed writing with it. No glaring faults, just a good solid pen. All right, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. God bless you, and have a great week.